I'm sorry, Bug. Liz, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Happy Thursday. It's a very dreary day. It is raining and cold, and I've got two dogs that I feel like they're, what's it called? Like snowed in, cabin fever. That's what it's called. I had a doctor's appointment today, and then I ran to Aldi. I was gonna make a really good dinner tonight because I think it's 44 degrees. I mean, it's freezing. And then all of a sudden, I decided to make potato soup. I never use a recipe. I just throw the amounts in. But I thought I would share the recipe that I'm using today out of my brain. I'm using 2 carrots and I'm grating them, about half a bag of potatoes, 3 stalks of celery, and half of the onion. And I'll show you what it looks like in the pot. And then I'm chopping all of my potatoes up, and I'm using my chopper, this one, because when I make potato soup, I like all of my potatoes to be the same size. It's weird, but I like that. I shared this set of knives not too long ago. You get 6 knives, and they come with these blade protectors. Obviously, we like using them because they're all dirty, but they are such a great quality knife. They're actually ceramic and they're very sharp. They come in different colors. Again, you get 6 knives with the protectors on them. I love these knives. Ever since I got them, this is the only thing that I'm using, and they cut like butter. Wait, back that up. They cut like you're cutting through butter. I shredded my carrot and then chopped up the celery in really little chunks along with the onions. I'm going to saute these until the onions are translucent and season them really well with salt and pepper. Then I'll add my chicken stock and my potatoes in. I've also shared this chopper before. It comes with different attachments. Well, not attachments, inserts. This is the one I use for the potato soup, because all of my potatoes come out the same. And there's Lizzie again. Let me get these chopped up, and then I will show you what's next. I added 8 cups of water and my half a bag of evenly chopped potato pieces. And then this is what I use. I always use this. It's better than bouillon. I've shared this before. This is just the best tasting stuff to make broth with. And then I'm gonna leave this boil until the potatoes are almost soft, and then I'm gonna add ribbles, and I'll show you how I make those. Not to mention, I'm adding cracked pepper, some onion powder, and a little bit of celery salt. There's enough salt in here, but just give it a dash of this. Might not look very appetizing, but all this is 1 cup of flour, 1 beaten egg, a splash of milk, salt, pepper to taste, and then I added a little bit of onion powder, and I am going to drop these in. They're basically homemade noodles. You drop them in right before the potatoes are finished, and you let them boil for a little bit, and they are just chewy bits of goodness. This is what it looks like. I added a little bit of cornstarch. I take some of this out, put it in a measuring cup or a cup, add some cornstarch to it, and then add it back. And then I put some, it was actually half and half. This is so flavorful, and I cannot wait to have it for dinner tonight. Today I'm going to walk you step by step through the process of grouting thin set brick. I added 2 walls of thin set brick in my kitchen, and I'm just getting around to grouting it. The first thing you need is grout. I am using this. This is Ultra Color Plus FA in the color Eggshell. I have actually 2 buckets. I also have an old spatula, a trowel, a piping bag, and I have a drill with a mixer on the end. It took me several tries yesterday to get the perfect consistency of the grout. And what I learned is that if you can put grout on the trowel and it doesn't run off, that is the consistency that I am looking for. And also another trick is when you put the grout in the bag and you have to squeeze it out, that's great consistency. If it runs out, it's too runny. I like to mix up a little bit at a time. So I have probably 1/2 inch of water in the first bucket, and I'm gonna add my grout in. Then I'm gonna use this mixer. This is the perfect consistency for me. It doesn't really run off of the trowel. That way, when you're squeezing it in between the joints, it doesn't tend to run. So I'm gonna fill up this bag and try to not let air get in the bag, because if there's air between the pockets of grout, it will spray out everywhere. I've learned the hard way. I've gotten grout in my eye, grout in my hair, grout all over the place. I'm certainly not a grout expert, but I've done a lot of troubleshooting, and this is what works best for me. And I think that's what you do in a DIY. You figure out what works best and you do it like you want to. Getting ready to fill in the joints with grout. And this consistency is what I really, really like. You pipe it on like you would decorate a cookie or a cake. And you want to overfill the joints. And I will show you how you can tell when they're ready to remove with the concave jointer. You want to overfill the joint so it kind of hangs out over the edge. And you twist and you squeeze at the same time. This is what it should look like. It should hang over the edges of the brick. And then when you know it is ready, when you tap on this, it doesn't stick to your finger. This is still really wet. The excess grout is ready to remove, so I'm going to use a concave joiner, and I'm going to use the smaller end. On the bigger joints, I can use the larger end. There is a way to do it. If you're pulling towards you, you use the toe. If you're going away from you, use the heel. I'm gonna take the toe and I'm gonna scrape across here, and I'm gonna collect the small bits that fall off because I want to be able to fill in any holes that I have. And then I just keep this little ball and fill in the holes. There's a hole here, so I take a little pinch of that and stick it in there. This is what the joint looks like when you remove the excess grout. But what I'm doing is I'm rubbing each joint with my finger so it doesn't look as perfect, because I want this wall to look very, very old. And I don't want the joints to look absolutely the same. After I removed all the excess grout and filled in all of the holes and smoothed all of these joints, I take a brush and I go back and brush off all of the edges of the brick to clean them off and get rid of the excess grout. And it just gives it it just finishes it off. And then if I accidentally touch the grout. Put on my glove again and just smooth it out. One of the last things I'm doing to seal the brick is adding this sealer. It is actually transparent. You won't be able to see it. You spray it on one time and then you spray it right away when it's still wet, and then it should be dry within 30 minutes. So I bought this spray bottle, and I'm just gonna be using that to spray on. I'm doing it in sections. I'm gonna spray this part first, and then spray it again, and then move down to the next section. You have to be careful that you don't get it on anything, glass or any type of countertop product.
I'm starting a wellness journey in partnership with New Chapter, and I'm adding their Every Woman's One Daily Multivitamin to my routine. It has over 20 fermented nutrients that will deliver the benefits I expect using nature's finest ingredients.
The last 6 weeks have been very stressful, and we're coming on a new season, which will add even more stress. I know I'm not eating right, and I know I'm not getting enough sleep, so I decided to add something to my diet. I started taking one of these a day. It's New Chapter Every Woman's Multivitamin. These vitamins have over 20 fermented nutrients. It also helps with immune system, stress and beauty support, which I need, and cellular energy. These are also vegetarian, organic, and non-GMO. You take one a day. This is what they look like, and they're very easy to swallow.